Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. I'm coming to you to teach you a new technique that I have been using to solve problems. It's called tapping. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of tapping, but it is a holistic approach to solving problems. The problems may be a head cold, racing thoughts, any type of sickness you may develop. Now, I'm a firm believer that if we combine holistic practices with modern medicine and science, that there's nothing we can't solve. So tapping is referred to as an emotional freedom technique. And you can look up the research. It shows that tapping has been used to help people with things such as anxiety and post-traumatic stress syndrome. I've heard about tapping for years, but never tried it until the beginning of October, which was about a month and a half ago. Holistic practitioners believe that anything that we experience in our bodies, like as a sickness or anxiety, any type of problem, is because of a disruption in our energy. And based on personal experiences, I buy into that. I believe that. So in September, I'm going to use myself as an example. Back in September, I went through some pretty stressful times with my mother. She had a blood pressure issue that was really scary, and it landed her in the hospital about 4 times in a week. So I was taking all of that on, and I was very stressed out, high anxiety. I was worried, all those negative emotions. Well, about 2 or 3 weeks later, I got a head cold. And I know that I got that head cold because my energy had been disrupted by those negative experiences that I was having taking care of her. Thank God everything's okay now, and thank God I found tapping. So I get this head cold, and I'm like, oh God, these head colds just hang on to me for, a week, 2 weeks at a time. As the years have gone by, I have gotten a whole lot better with my spiritual practices, and so they don't always last that long, but they'll still make me feel just miserable for several days. So I was watching a podcast. I was watching Gabby Bernstein's podcast, and she was talking about tapping, and she was showing one of her listeners how to use tapping to solve problems, and I thought, well, I'll try that to alleviate the symptoms from this head cold. So I did it. And lo and behold, after about a day or 2 of tapping, the head cold was gone. The head cold lasted about 3 to 4 days, and it was gone. And typically, if it's severe like it was, that would have lasted a lot longer than 3 or 4 days. And so after I started tapping, I was on my feet. And so at that point, I was a believer. So I want to teach you how to do this. And I'll give you a little bit of background as to how tapping works. So I'm sure you've heard of acupuncture. And acupuncture has been used to rebalance disruptions in our energy. But with acupuncture, as you probably know, the acupuncturist is going to use needles. With tapping, we use our fingertips. Totally non-invasive, totally easy. As I show you how to do this, keep in mind, I am a beginner. I have not mastered the art of doing this yet. Practice makes perfect, so we're in this together. You don't have to get hung up on if you're doing this correctly, because tapping is very forgiving. You don't have to do it exactly right for it to work. So what we do is we stimulate our meridian points, and we have several of those. They're also referred to as our energy hotspots. So here's one right here on the side of our hand, top of our head, in between our eyebrows, side of our eyes, underneath our eyes, underneath our nose, our chin, top of the collarbone, and under our arms. okay? So you're gonna use your fingertips to do tapping. Before you get started, identify your problem. Now, the problem that I used tapping most recently for was to alleviate the side effects from the COVID booster. I got my COVID booster about 2 weeks ago, and true to COVID vaccination form, about 12 to 13 hours later, I was sick. I had those nasty body aches, the cold chills, the headache, that yucky, icky COVID feeling that you just notice right away. If you've ever had the virus, you know that feeling. It's very distinctive from the flu or pneumonia or, you know, any other illness you may have had. And so I woke up the next day and just felt miserable, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try tapping. And so that's the tapping exercise that I'm going to show you right now. It's to alleviate symptoms from the COVID booster, but keep in mind, you can use this for anything. Anxiety, racing thoughts, stress. All you do is you switch up the dialogue, you individualize it, and you make it more specific to the problem you're trying to solve, okay? So let's get started. First thing you need to do is you need to rate your problem on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the least and 10 being the worst. So after my COVID booster, I thought, how bad is this? I got an analysis of everything that was going on, and I came up with a number 7. This is feeling pretty bad, but not just horrible, you know. So rate how you're feeling, and then you're going to tap until that number starts to come down. It will take you several times. The first time you tap, you may not feel better, but it's a possibility you can. So here's how you get started. Rate your problem, scale to 1 to 10. Now you're going to start right here. Your fingertips on the side of your hand. You're going to tap, and you're going to say, even though I have these side effects from the COVID booster, and I feel pretty bad, even though I have these side effects from the COVID booster, I fully and completely accept myself in this moment. You're going to repeat that again. Even though I have side effects from this COVID booster that are making me feel pretty bad, I fully accept myself. Now you're going to move on to up here. Even though I have these side effects from the COVID booster and I feel pretty bad, I trust that my body knows how to handle these symptoms. Even though I have these body aches, these cold chills, I can't be productive, I know that my body is working to alleviate these side effects. These side effects make me feel pretty bad. I just want to stay in bed. I don't feel like doing anything. These body aches. I can't be as productive as I want to be when I feel this way. But I know that my body knows how to deal with this. I trust that my body is alleviating these symptoms as we speak. The side effects from this booster are making me feel pretty bad. I can't work. I'm not sleeping well. But I know it's all temporary. It's all temporary. And my body knows exactly how to deal with it. Even though I feel so tired from this booster shot, I know that my body is working right now to solve the problem. There's your crash course in tapping. I'll be posting a blog post later on this week on my website at paulaswope.com. The title of it is Tap Away Your Problems. Now I go into a little bit more detail about how emotional freedom techniques work. I think you can learn a lot from it. If you have any questions, please contact me at paulaswope.com. And if you use tapping to solve a problem, I would love to hear about your results. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.